Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to do a little bit of a Christmassy video. So I'm going to go through how I made these woodland themed baubles for Christmas trees. So I'll go through how I made them and stay tuned. Alright, so I started off using these shatterproof blank baubles and I got them from Lincraft here in Australia for $3 for this packet. They were on special right now. I'm also using some feathers that I had lying around and I'm using some fake moss. So there's heaps of different types of fake moss, so this is what I had. I'm also using some little twine as well. It's always good for woodland effects. And I'm also picked up this packet of miniature pine cones, and I know I can go out and buy them, but I can go out and find them, but I can't actually find them. And then I'm also using some of these mushrooms that I had sculpted a while back now. So some of them are small enough to fit inside the bauble, so I thought it would add a really nice effect to some of the baubles on the tree. I actually also used some fake plants as well that I had because I sort of changed my mind halfway through making them. So I'll go on to the first one, and I'm using this large sized bauble. I think they come in 3 different sizes. So this one is the large, and then we have a medium, and then we have the small size. So a good variety of sizes in the pack that I got. So we're going to start off with the large one first. And the great thing about this is they just have a little screw top, so it's super easy to open it up and put whatever you want in it. So I'm going to start off by putting the miniature pine cones in, and some of them are a bit too big, so you can see that one didn't actually fit in, but then we have some that will just fit right in. So I just went through the packet and filled up the bauble with enough small ones and some of those twigs as well. And then I thought it would look really good with some fake moss, so I'm using some of this fake moss that I have, and it is sort of a grey toned moss. So I just filled up some of the bauble. I didn't go all the way full just because I wanted it to roll around a little bit and separate. So I just filled the bauble up halfway with the moss and the miniature pine cones. And once I'm done, I will go ahead and screw that cap back on. And the pack actually came with its own strings, but they were sort of a metal string, so I wasn't really into that idea, and it wasn't really woodland themed, so I decided to go with some of that twine for the loops on top of the bauble so we can hang it on the Christmas tree. And you can get twine anywhere in your local craft stores. I have a lot of stuff hanging around, so I had heaps of twine just in my supply section, so I just went ahead and used this twine for the loops. And I just tied a double knot on top of the bigger loop just so it doesn't come apart, but you can tie anything you want. You can also put hooks and stuff on as well, so it's really whatever suits you. So there's our first bauble done. Moving on to the next one, so I'm going to go for a smaller size bauble this time, and the same thing, the top screws off, but this time I'm going to put some feathers inside. So I have some feathers handy. I have, you know, bits and pieces everywhere these days. So I thought I'd make use of these feathers and just fill the bauble with them. I know I've seen them in the shops and they're, you know, like $15 a bauble, so you can make these for literally like $4. And you can use any feathers that you like. You can go outside and find feathers, and you can just buy feathers in the shops, but I generally don't like to buy feathers in the shop because I don't know for sure if they're cruelty-free feathers, so I just prefer, I had these around, I don't know where they came from, so I just use recycled feathers basically. And you can stick a little pair of tweezers inside and just maneuver the feathers around, and that way you can get them into a position that you like. And here is what I have come up with, and you can see it has a nice woodlandy type effect, and it would look really great with the rest of the baubles as well. So we'll screw the top back on, and then I will add the twine for the loop. And this is what our finished feather bauble will look like. And the next one is a medium-sized one. So I wanted to use the mushrooms this time for this bauble, and I wanted to add some moss so it would have a sort of a mushroomy effect. So So I'm going to go ahead and use this miniature moss. This is something that you can get for little dioramas and stuff for moss effects. So you can get it from your local craft stores or any hobby shops. So I was initially going to tip it in, but then I thought this stuff's going to go everywhere. So I decided to just tweeze it in, and that way I can control how much I put in as well and not have it all over my workspace. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll it around the entire bauble, and that way, because it's a little bit staticky, this stuff will actually stick to anything that's staticky, so it's kind of like flocking stuff, so it will cover the bauble in some moss. So these are the little mushrooms that I'm going to put in, and they're just really light air dry clay. So luckily they're small enough to fit inside my baubles, and they'll just sit in there like that. But I think I might add some more moss as well, and an extra little mushroom, just so it fills it up a little bit, because it was looking a bit vacant. But you can put whatever you want in it. You can put these amanita ones in, or you can put you know, any sort of mushroom that you can make. Okay, so once you're happy with the amount of moss in there, I can screw the lid up and give it a little shake so the moss goes everywhere. So this is what we have, and this is what it looks like. It's pretty cool. I might add some more moss or get some lichen or something and add it to it later, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So the same deal with the twine, just thread it through and tie it up with a double loop at the end, and then you're done. Alright, doing another larger bauble, and I'm doing a set of 6 baubles this time, so another larger one, and this one's really simple. So what we do is just screw off the lid, and I have this fake pine leaf, but you can use a real pine leaf if you like. Just remember that it does die down and go brown, so that's why I'm going to use a artificial one, and we literally just stuff it in there, and you have a really cool pine effect inside of the bauble. So you can get your long nose tweezers and just move it around to a position that you're happy with, and that's pretty much your bauble done. And same deal with the twine, just thread it through. So this is a little bit thinner, this twine, and it's a little bit more waxy as well, so it won't spread apart. And then do it again, the double knot. And I decided to add a little bow using that twine on top, but you can use anything like a hessian bow or just a nice little ribbon as well, but I went for the hessian look. Alright, and the next one is a medium-sized one again, and I'm going to use this artificial branch, like viney stuff. It's got moss already on it, and it has a wire armature inside the main branch. So I'm actually just going to stuff that in there. So I need to sort of work out, because it has the armature in it, that I need to bend it around already and sort of insert it. But not a big deal. So I was going to actually do it in the smaller bauble, but I figured it was too much trouble to get that wire inside of the bauble. So I'm just going to use some tweezers to stuff the rest of the ends up inside the ball, and then I can use the tweezers to actually position that fake branch inside. So I wanted it sort of in a circle, like going around the bauble, instead of it just a big mess. So I'd had a little play around, and this is what I came up with. So I'm pretty happy with the position that's in it, but the good thing about this is you can move it around anytime you want. And again, go ahead and tie some of that twine on there. Okay, so the last bauble we're doing is the small bauble, and I have some of this, what's it called, Spanish moss. It's like fake Spanish moss. So I had a couple of strands of this around, so I thought it would look really good inside of a bauble, and it adds to the mossy sort of effect to the whole bauble collection. So I'm just going to get 2 of these little mossy things, and I'm just going to stuff them inside of the bauble. So here's what we're left with, and I wouldn't want any more artificial moss in this because I think the effect looks really good as it is. And the same deal again, tighten up the lid and then tie up some of that twine. And this is the effect that we have with this bauble, so I think it adds a cool different colour effect to the whole collection as well. If you make any baubles from this little DIY, let me know in the comments or link me to it in somewhere and I can check it out. Right, and that is it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any video requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!